I am, I was going to say a Madden fan, but that is far from the truth. I am a football fan who likes video games and wishes for a good NFL football game or even unlicensed football game. It doesn't even have to be NFL. I just want a good American football game.
America.
But so we're coming up on the time where we're finding out more about Madden 23 news. I was listening to some videos on it today while I was working to try to kind of get a feel for it, because I think some people have had access to play the beta, but most people haven't, is my understanding. That might be wrong. But I'm hearing kind of mixed reviews, but from the people who seemed the most unbiased, which I think is kind of where I would put myself. It sounds optimistic, but I will start this off by saying Madden always sounds like it's going to be better than it is.
Yep.
At least for the past decade or so. And that's probably true with EA in general. They have really good marketing teams. But with that being said, with that disclaimer, I'm cautiously optimistic. It seems like they are focusing a lot on gameplay, which has been very bad and broken. And I think that's all I'm really going to... Well, no, so I do have some franchise updates I can maybe talk about some.
Yeah, you can go through it.
So yeah, the main things, I'm only going to touch on the things that I care about, which is going to be gameplay and franchise. There's some other updates. You can go to ea.com/games/Madden. You can find it, but you can find all the updates. But I'll give you my thoughts on the things I care about. So FieldSense, they have it written, the all-new FieldSense gameplay system provides the foundation for consistent, ultra-realistic gameplay and equips players with more control at all positions in every mode. It's only available on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, which is disappointing, but I guess understandable. I can let that pass. It's disappointing for me. I have the newer Xbox, the Xbox Series S, but some of the people that are in my Madden franchise, our online franchise, don't, which is disappointing. Maybe they'll get it in time if we decide to buy this. Again, I'm gonna wait to see like in-depth reviews after release before I decide to buy the game, and I'll have to really like it to buy it because I don't want to support EA. But if it's a big improvement, then I'll spend the money to get it, or if I don't, I probably will.
John Madden changed it.
Sorry.
Horrible. But I'll probably get it when it comes out on Game Pass if it doesn't look like a big enough improvement, but if it is at least somewhat of an improvement. FieldSense by itself doesn't tell us much, but some of this other stuff that I'm about to cover is essentially part of FieldSense. So they'll have the new Hit Everything. It's redefining defensive pursuit, which just to start with that, redefining defensive pursuit is huge. Brad, you wouldn't know, but like when you play Madden, it's so easy to take advantage of, like, assuming this is incorporated with the AI, to just make them take a bad angle to make a tackle. So that would be a cool thing if they can actually implement it. New Hit Everything mechanics let you be more disruptive on defense. All for adding more defense mechanics. New animation branching technology in Madden 23 enables next-gen hit-stick physics so you can perform mid-air knockdowns, hit the pile to assist in tackles already in progress, blow up blocks, and force turnovers with stand-up tackles. It's all pretty self-explanatory. I'm a huge fan of adding more physics-based gameplay. Those of you who have played Madden recently know that it is completely animation driven. I know that you need animations, but it just feels like the talents of players don't matter.
Yeah.
And it's all just, everything's predetermined.
Right.
So my wife's calling me and I'm going to ignore it.
There's that answer.
So you know where my priorities lie. So anything physics based is good to me. I like that. So they're adding some new animations too, which is okay. Where so many of the animations previously felt like only two people could be a part of them, and it just sucked people into animations. But now it feels like there's a lot more options when an animation is hopefully more naturally triggered, and it'll weigh in. Hopefully, again, if it's implemented correctly, it will weigh in attributes, how many people are involved in a tackle, more than just one person can be involved. It seems, it gets me excited if they can implement it correctly. Because the gameplay and franchise are the two things I care about, and they're, as of right now, in my opinion and from my limited experience, the worst parts of the game right now.
Yeah.
So that's hit everything. They're adding skill-based passing. Lead your receivers open, drop back shoulder throws into tight windows, and place every pass where only your receiver can catch it with surgical accuracy, thanks to this all-new way to pass. Skills-based passing introduces a new accuracy reticle and passing meter. I've seen a little bit about this in detail. A little, but not a lot. I don't know a lot about it. My original thing that I thought when I heard this is like, you can already kind of do that with the left stick. So like if a receiver's running a slant from left to right, if I wanted to lead them like away from a defender, I could hit, bump left on the stick as I throw, or I'm sorry, bump right on the stick as I throw. I'm trying to pretend like I'm, but you can lead them already a little bit. It's not a lot. Now I heard someone on a video that I listened to, I would give them credit, but I don't know who it was. And it would be difficult to find at this point. Too late. Should have done that. Who said that like this literally is just a gimmick, and that he, from his experience playing with it, it's literally what we already have. It just shows you more about it essentially in game. But he admitted saying that he didn't know. Like there's a small chance he was like, I might not be using this correctly. Because then someone else that I listened to mentioned that they played it and thought that it really added a lot to the game. Don't know if they're being biased or not. We will see. I like the idea of it. If it's implemented correctly, giving a player more control is great. I do hope that it still heavily is impacted by the skill of the quarterback throwing the ball. That would be my one thing.
Yeah.
So they've also added 360 degree cuts. Whether you're a running back, wide receiver after the catch, or returning a kick, new 360 degree cuts give you the freedom and fluidity. Oh gosh, we're finding out that my reading level is about the same as that.
That's a hard word to say.
As the ball carrier to hit the gaps you want to, plant and go, and elude defenders using left trigger L2 and a well-timed flick of the stick. This sounds super cool. Basically, the idea of it is to, especially I think in my mind, the main reason for this is as a running back, when you see a hole between blockers, to be able to actually cut into the hole. On Madden 22 and probably plenty of versions before this, you stick to blockers so easily and it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Hopefully that's being fixed with the implementation of this, hopefully. I like the idea of being able to hit a gap that you see. It's more realistic to football. With that being said, running the ball has been too easy in my opinion lately. Obviously you can fix it some with sliders, but not enough in my opinion. So I'm a little hesitant to get real excited about this. I like the idea of it as long as running is still a challenge.
Yeah.
Running out of daylight. So next they're adding wide receiver versus defensive back battles. A suite of new wide receiver release moves and defensive back counter press mechanics make for some fancy footwork and crucial 1v1 battles off the line. So I actually thought there was more to this. I'm going to back up in a second. That sounds fine. It doesn't really affect me. I think it's more for when you're playing as a receiver is my understanding. Like, I don't know how much that's gonna matter when you're just playing by yourself on a team. I don't know. I don't know much about this one. We'll see. Doesn't get me excited. I wish that they would spend that time working on something that mattered. But if these other improvements are as good as I hope they are, that's great. One other thing that I've seen from FieldSense that I kind of think I skipped over that maybe was part of the hit everything, but maybe not, is I heard something that they're kind of also getting away from the horrible animations when you throw the ball, and the animations trigger, especially on like long throws where wide receivers are getting mossed by defensive backs. Of like, you can stick a 5'5" defensive back out with 0 jumping ability on a 99 overall receiver, and if you throw a deep pass, there's still a 50-50 chance that little third grader is going to pick off the best receiver and jump over them. And that's just how the animations seem to work. I saw something, I don't really see anything about it here, but I do remember seeing something about them getting away from that as well as part of FieldSense. I don't know. I don't have anything in front of me to talk super in depth about it.
There might be some more stuff in this.
Yeah, and we don't have to dive super deep into that. If you want more in-depth stuff, there are other YouTubers who do a lot better job of it than me. But these are my thoughts. So feel free to check out other places, other websites, news articles to get more in-depth news about that. Yep. The last thing I'll touch on real quick, I'll read through some franchise updates. Call the shots from the front office as you lead your Madden NFL 23 franchise to the top. The drama of NFL free agency leads the way with new athlete motivations like team locations and salary demands factoring into contract negotiations. I like that. I like it a lot. It takes us back to the like Madden 08 days. I hope that there's a lot more to it than that. I think there is. I think I heard that. I haven't played it. I don't know for sure. It would be a little bit dumb to add motivations and just have team location and salary demands. I think what I'm about to read next plays into this. They say new player tags improve off-season activity logic and impact your progression. I think the player tags, from what little I know about it, it sounds like it's things along the lines of like a mentor or a franchise QB. Yeah. So like, and how this can affect free agency, again, from what little I know and my understanding, I could be wrong. Another motivation to sign with a team on top of, let's say, just location. So like weather or money, could be that maybe a top wide receiver would much rather sign with a team that has a franchise quarterback tagged to them, which adds way more dynamics to the off season. Madden seems to always implement things poorly, but again, I like this. It feels like Madden has gotten so bad that these little steps in the right direction, they don't feel like enough, but it's probably about as much as you can do with a yearly release game. Probably, I don't know. You would know more about that than me. But we'll take what we can get. The free agency stuff is exciting to me. Player tags, if that's part of it, is exciting. I don't know how it would affect the impact of a player to progress. Probably similar to development traits. We'll have to see. They've also updated trade logic. AI represents the value of star players more accurately for fair and more realistic offers. Updates to trade logic is always a good thing. We actually have a rule in our Madden franchise about trading. Basically, everyone has to. There's 4 of us, and I don't know the own rules to my own franchise. I think it was 3, but now it's 2 just for the sake of speeding things up. But you have to get at least 2 other people to approve of a trade because it's just too easy to take advantage of the AI.
Yeah.
So any improvement to that will be greatly appreciated. Continue to plan and strategize like an NFL head coach with refined scouting, staff management, and weekly strategy features. Again, I am not expecting much from any of that. Any improvements would be great. I actually, hot take, I liked the direction they went with scouting over what they used to do. I can see how it needs improvement. It seemed more realistic to me than, Madden 20, 21, or whatever before that. So I think improving that'll be big. Staff management, we'll see. I actually really hate how they implemented the coaching trees. I miss the days where they had the licensed coaches who just came with certain abilities to help or not help a team. I don't like the idea of just being able to build up coaching trees and then just being good at whatever you want to be good at. I'd rather hire a coach who has abilities or doesn't.
Yeah.
I hope they go towards that. They don't say. I don't know. I doubt it. But any improvements to staff management, again, I'll take what I can get. Let's keep making steps in the right direction, and I'll believe it when I see it. But that is our Madden 23 update. I'll try to bring more as we get them. I'll be out of town a lot. Wow, it's getting dark. I'll be out of town a lot. So over the next month, so some of that might come slow, but I'll give you my thoughts as I'm able.